Let's discuss.
Hey everyone, it's Rachel back again with another reaction video, and today I am stoked because ERRA has dropped a new track. It is a cover of a Muse song, Stockholm Syndrome, and it is taken from their upcoming deluxe version of their self-titled album, which will be out on March 18th. I reacted to Nigh to Silence when that dropped. It is one of the best ERRA songs to date. I think one of that, probably top 5. I think it's still too new for me, at least, to like make a full decision like that, but excellent. It has been heavily on repeat for me. The Vanish Canvas remix type of deal with Courtney on it will be on this deluxe version as well, and this will be the third taken off of it, so I will link all of the pre-orders and such in the description of this video, also ERRA's social media and such. If there's a video, I'm kind of like waiting around right now before doing the reaction to see if a music video will go up. If a music video does happen to come up and that's what I react to, I'll put it in the description of this video. I'm going to stop talking and we are going to get straight into it. ERRA, Stockholm Syndrome, a Muse cover. Let's discuss. So I had not heard the original of this prior to listening to the cover, and then I decided when seeing the track list I wasn't gonna listen to it until after I had done it. So now I've listened to it before starting this outro. I love that they put their spin on it, but structurally it's the same song. But it just sounds like a completely different one still. The production, the changes in the riffs, the vocals, obviously where there's some overlap of Jesse or JT, or JT's parts themselves, those are wildly different. But also, like I'm talking about with, if you take that outro riff for example, it sounds essentially, you can tell obviously it's the same riff, but then you compare it in ERRA's track and it just has that sound. Like I kind of think of that riff after the title is dropped in Snowblood, that sort of sound with this. But at the same time, I mean, it being a cover. The chorus on this, I love it, especially on ERRA's version, because Jesse's vocals I prefer. With Muse, I think that's always hit or miss for me with their tracks. The vocals can be where it kind of loses me a little bit, or the vocal delivery as well, I think. But in this, like, that chorus, the delivery on "This is the last time I'll abandon you," I love that line so much. That's the one that's stuck in my head after listening to it once. But the drumming on this standing out as well. I think it brings that energy like in the self-titled track, so it works extremely well. And obviously the production being ERRA production, it'll go really well as deluxe, because it has that sound, like, in the riffs and the breakdown there. Or that outro riff is really a good example overall, I think, of just how, because also that song being older, it's a bit dated in some spots production wise. I've listened to the newest Muse track and it was pretty interesting for me, but I think still I didn't grow up listening to a ton of it on my own, but I did listen to a decent amount of it outside of my own listening. I think for me, Muse just wasn't 100% on the rotation all the time. Those are one of those bands, though, that you can't really avoid, or at least for me growing up, I couldn't really avoid it. I didn't dislike them by any means or anything. And the original song is obviously a good song as well. I don't think that it would be so easy to cover a bad song. And I also I think in interviews or in videos that ERRA has done, because they've done a lot of content over the years, and they've talked a bit about influences and songs that influenced them, riffs. Jesse did that video of the riffs that have influenced him and stuff, and I've never heard anything that I really disliked, so I figured as much checking out that Muse track specifically, I would like it. Amongst the tracks I heard probably a bit more, which ended up being the case. So structurally, with it being the same, they really still managed to make it have that ERRA self-titled sound, that ERRA sound in general. I think in the drumming, in the strings themselves, how hard some of those riffs hit. JT's vocal patterns obviously much different than what you're getting in that original track as well. So, and I think this comes out to be a little bit longer, but overall it's pretty much the same length of song as well, which is interesting because with JT's flow, a lot of the time you get, I can't do it myself, so I'm not going to. But kind of a drawn out flow in some parts, but so that sound is definitely there. Yes, just yes. I love ERRA. I really never have a bad thing to say about anything that they do. I think because structurally this is the same as the original, you can still tell that those bounds exist. Like had they when it comes to their original songs and their songwriting where it's at now, it's just something that's it's hard to match. So I think there are the bounds that they did not write the original of this, but they still put their ERRA spin on it. So Night to Silence, obviously, it's going to be hard to beat something like that for any band, for ERRA. For that song has just immediately gone into like one of my favorites. I have listened to it a stupid amount of times, but when ERRA does a cover like this, like the "You Think I'm Not Worth a Nick," I can never remember the full title of that song, which when they dropped that, I didn't realize for like, I think I listened to it on repeat for a little while and I was like, this is so interesting. And then I was like Googling it and I found it was a cover. Other than that, they really don't do covers. Like there are bands that are constantly putting out covers and stuff like that, Our Last Nights. But ERRA is one of those bands where, this has had me really interested. Some people don't like to see covers on track lists like that, but when we just got self-titled last year, and ERRA has such an interesting way. Like, this is what I was hoping for from them without having heard the original, like them taking the sound from self-titled and extending it forward to these songs that they're going to be covering. So hopefully that will be the case with the other two as well, but hearing this one, it has me confident that it will be. I'm always confident in whatever ERRA is doing though, because so I will link the visualizer that I reacted to, as well as all of ERRA's pre-orders, social media, in the description of this video. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you go and give that visualizer a like if you enjoyed this song. Want to do that, that will be in the description. Other than that, you can also find my link tree, which will have the invite for the Discord server that I talk about in every video, every live stream. It is full of a bunch of my favorite people. We talk about a lot of music related stuff, a lot of stuff completely unrelated to music as well. Pictures of pets, stuff like that. So if you're interested in coming to join, check the community out. That will be there, as well as my Instagram profile link. On Instagram, I do keep it all music related, whether it be on my story about a new song I found, or a new YouTube video, or my chart every Friday of what I've listened to the most over the course of the week, or merch, vinyl, sweatshirt, flags, t-shirts. I have a ton of merch, constantly getting more, so I have a never-ending collection to post. That sort of thing, you get the point. So if you're interested in following me, my handle is Rachel Reacts, just like my YouTube channel, but as I said before, it will be in that link tree in the description. As always, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it.